All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Crypto Talk. Bitcoin Brandon here, Los Angeles, California. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're listening in from and give a thumbs up on the YouTube channel. Now we have Linda Reuter, good evening. Lorna Vasquez, Cleve Stewart from New York. Bethany Gibbs from Seattle. And Michael. Tommy Adoom from New Jersey. Eldridge. Say what? You sent me a free VIP ticket to the crypto event in LA? How'd you get your hands on a VIP ticket, Eldridge? What, did you send me through an email? Shauna Ross, North Carolina. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share suggestion, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. There are 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get a return on an investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What are you willing to do to make that happen? Make a decision, take action, stay focused, and do not get distracted. Now, this is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most that we can ask for. So let's go ahead and get started tonight. I found this interesting. I just made this post because every time I go live, I make a post on Facebook that I'm going live. And I guess the main topic everybody sees is Bitcoin rages bullish and technical indicators for the first time since 2017. And we have a Frank Ni Okanta Ankara who laughed and says BTC will never go up. I don't know. Should I even take the time to respond to that? Because if he actually listened in my crypto talks, I have hours and hours and hours of recordings that say the complete opposite of what he says. So I already have the evidence to back me up. However, what evidence is he providing? So it would be a waste of my time. And I actually feel sorry. I'm looking at his picture here. Frank, he's got a wife and he's got kids. You know, I wish him all the best in having success. But for your legacy, to ignore the obvious. I wouldn't want to be him when his kids grow up and be like, hey, daddy, there's a post on Facebook because Facebook records everything of you saying Bitcoin would never go up when it was at $4,000 a coin. Or actually, what is it at right now? Let's see. What is the current price? Coin market cap's at 140 billion. So it's gained about 400 million since this morning. So Bitcoin price is at $4,042. Well, what's he going to tell this kid when it reaches 20,000, 40,000, and 50,000 again? I'm just saying. What's my rule number one? Because rule number one, you don't follow that, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Education is key. Education is everything. We've got billionaires putting hundreds of millions of dollars of investments in this space. So who am I going to listen to? Them or broke cousin Frank who says BTC will never go up? You know what? I was always taught, instead of arguing with somebody like that, you disagree with them. You're like, you are absolutely correct, Frank. You go public on me, I'm gonna call you out. All right, so let's get into some business here. Let's look at the coin market cap again. Bitcoin dominance is at 50.8%. Been kind of flatlined since this morning, but more money has been added. Stellar is up 5.9%. You know, it's been announced Stellar is going to be listed on Coinbase. But the rest of the market looks pretty in the red, but it's barely. Best performers last 24 hours, we have Engine Coin is still up 19%. Engine Coin's up 19%. Some of you guys made money if you listened to me. Got in on that. Ken. I don't remember hearing about a coin called Ken. Look at its value. It's worth 0.000057 cents. So $100 can get you a whole bunch of these coins. Let's see, 756 billion. Wow, that's why it's so cheap. 756 billion coins out there. How long has this been around? Because it's ranked 100 right now. Never heard of this. Total supply. Is this 1 million? 10 trillion? 10 trillion is going to be the total supply? Good grief. What was it at its height? It's been around for a while. Okay. Started off at 0.000093 cents. That's like Venezuelan money. And at its height, it got to almost 0.001 cent. That was a big jump, considering. So people made money off of that, but it's been stagnant. Now it's starting to come back up. I don't have time to research about Ken, token, Ethereum platform. Yeah. No desire to go through that. Just curious. It's up 17%. So something like that could be a pump and dump, but it's been around for a couple of years. Jacqueline Briggs made some money, huh? Bethany made some money. Let's see, what other top point here? Kyber, Maximine, Ravencoin, Stellar, 5.9%. Pundi X, 2.7%. All right, worst performers. ABBC coin, negative 16% down. Crypto.com chain, Crypto.com, BitTorrent. Electroneum is down 4.71%. Verge, Strats. This is again why I say, and you guys saw the numbers I did this morning on green. And someone asked me after that if I could do another in our crypto KGX community only group. kind of do dream mode again on green. And I may do that. I may do that later this week. They liked my comparison when I compared it with Cardano and Stellar. So I'll do that again. Why it would still be a good idea to get some green machines. The name of the game is stacking your coins. Stacking the coins. Why? Because those coins are going to be worth something. All you need is for this number to rise. All coins rise with it. Like that Kin coin went from 0.000093 cents to 0.001 just because the coin market cap went up. Green hits the market at half a penny or 1 cent or 2 cents. The market goes up. Next thing you know, it's worth 30 cents, 40 cents. And you're sitting on a couple of million coins. I think the way this is going, some of you may have, well, if one coin, let me do some math real quick. One machine. The first 6 months, one machine was averaging 1.6. Well, 1.75. I'll do 1.75. 1.75 million coins in the first 6 months. So the second 6 months is not going to produce as many because there's more machines. So let's say it does half of that. So what's divided by half? That's another 875,000 coins. So 875 plus 175 million. You got 2.6 million coins in the first year. So let's go with that number. One machine, 2.6 million coins after the first 12 months. Multiply that times half a penny. That's worth $13,125. So here's a question. Was that a good investment? Well, what was the cost of one machine? $3,750. And what was your return on that in 12 months? $13,125. So you made your money back, and then you made a threefold profit. What would you have gotten if you had $3,750 sitting in a bank account 12 months later? What, an extra $50, $75, maybe $200? But you hold, and now 2.625 million coins, and the coin market cap goes back up to $1 trillion, which means all coins rise with it. So now we're not talking about half a penny. I want to be conservative here. Be real conservative. Let's say it gets to 25 cents. Multiply that times 25 cents. Now you have $656,000 investment. What did you pay for one machine? $3,750. Do I have your attention here? This is not get rich quick. This is looking at things in the long term. And there is no guarantee because I don't know when the coin market cap will go back up. I'm confident that it will. I just don't know when. In fact, experts are saying that this is not going to get to 1 trillion. Remember the article we read this morning? They said that half the world's money will be in the blockchain. Half the world's money. Do you know what half the world's money is? Well, thanks to Bethany. Wait. Did I already? I know I opened it up. Did I already lose it already? Hold on a second. There we go. Oh, yes, right here. Let me show you what half the world's money looks like. Sometimes we need to see a visual to understand things. This is where Bitcoin is right now. You see this? One block? That one block's worth 100 billion. So when you look at coin market cap, it's at 140 billion is the whole market. So let's just bring it on the downside and say it's 100 billion. That represents one block. Here are the biggest companies in the world: Berkshire Hathaway, Microsoft, Alphabet, Apple, Facebook, Amazon. Amazon's got 4.5 blocks. Apple's got 8 blocks. The 50 richest people in the world. California, my state, West Side, GDP, Fed's balance sheet. But this is stock market. But here's the real money. It's not even this global money supply. You see this global? Even if we stick with this, global money supply is at 90.4 trillion. Half of that, $45 trillion. Let's go with that. I'm not even going to talk about the derivatives. You see this? This is all derivatives. 1.2 quadrillion. I'm not even going to go with that. Let's go with just the known global supply of 90.4 trillion. Half of that is 45 trillion. What do you think the price of Bitcoin is going to be when this number shows 45 trillion? What do you think all of the coins that survive, what they're going to be? Hey, I didn't make this stuff up. How do I know all of this? Education. Education is key. So sorry, Frank. Oh, Frank's got something to say. Brandon Ivey 2020? What does he mean? The year 2020? Or is he agreeing with me? Maybe I took him wrong. Maybe he was being sarcastic. I don't know. You guys tell me. Maybe I'm not reading that correctly. Anyways, let's cover some things what the experts have to say. So, bullish trend. Bitcoin rages bullish in technical indicators for the first time since 2017. Now, I still believe that Bitcoin is going to drop below 3,000. I don't know when, but I believe it will. Oh, I forgot my end point here. I was talking about green, right? So that was being conservative at 20 cents. What if it's worth $2? You guys want to see what that looks like? One machine mining for 1 year with an average of, this is not Green's numbers. This is not KGX numbers. This is not a guarantee of what the numbers are going to be. This is me playing around with the numbers based on historical evidence from what other coins have done of similar nature. I want to be very clear there. I don't want somebody running back. Brandon said, no, I'm just having fun with numbers here. What if it hits $2 a coin? That's $5.2 million worth of coins you're sitting on. Why is that important? How do you think people became Bitcoin millionaires today? When they either mined the coin when it was worth 0.008 cents, or they bought it when it was worth $100 or $200 a coin, and they held for the last 8 years. That's why they're worth so much right now. The Winklevoss twins. There's an article I saw. I may have to cover it tomorrow morning. You know how the Winklevoss twins became billionaires? It wasn't because of Facebook. They own about almost $200 million worth of stock in Facebook right now. They got a cash buyout at the same time from their lawsuit, and they put $11 million into crypto back in 2011, I think it was. Do you know what that was worth by 2017, 6 years later? Think about this. Your $11 million investment, 6 years later, was worth over $1 billion. That's just crazy. The Winklevoss twins will be one of the richest men in the world. They will be worth over $100 billion easily within the next 10 years. Mark my words on that. All right. Anyways, done with dream mode. I hope you guys have at least one machine, and only if you can afford it. Don't go out and sell your car, your house. No, if you can't afford it, then there are other things you got to take care of first. But if you can afford it, that's a good thing to have in your back pocket for a rainy day 3-4 years from now. When the coin hits the market, I will sell no more than 25% of my coin. And I'm sitting on the rest. And to think, your machine is still mining coin. It doesn't stop after 1 year. There's some people out there that will have over 100 million coins. There's people on my team right now that have more than 30 million coins already. What do you think? Okay, I got to go back to dream mode again, because I know people that had to have this. Let's say you got 30 million coins at half a penny. I'm sorry, that's 5 cents. Half a penny. 0.5. That's $150,000 worth. What if that same 30 million goes to 20 cents? That's $6 million worth. What if that same 30 million coins and it goes to $2? Well, just double that, 60 million. That's $60 million worth of coins. People are already sitting on that right now. I'm not going to name any names, but you might have seen some people post that they're making like $100,000 a day as far as worth of coins on green. Well, you really can't say that because there is no value on the coin as of right now. They're only speculating. But we're talking about, this is why it's so important to stack as many coins as you possibly can. The question is not if, it's just when. And when people say, how much money can I make? That's the wrong question. How many coins can I accumulate? All right, I got way off track. So I will be doing another private presentation, so whatever, on mining in the crypto community group sometime in the near future. We'll talk about that. So Bitcoin rages bullish in technical indicators for the first time since 2017. In recent months, the substantial increase in the daily volume of Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrency market has led analysts to suggest that the overall trading activity in the market is rising. While some stated that the minimal impact on the Bitcoin price, despite the large movements of alternative cryptocurrencies, show a small inflow of capital into the crypto market, the general sentiment regarding the asset class has improved. According to one technical analyst, for the first time since the bull run in late 2017, a technical indicator called Bollinger Bands is holding above the 30 moving average level, which often signals a positive upside movement. Can it last? Throughout the past 3 months, Bitcoin has struggled to move out of a tight range from mid 3,000 to 4,000. On 2 occasions wherein Bitcoin breached the $4,000 mark, the dominant crypto retraced fairly quickly back to 3,800 to the 3,900 range. For a breakout above the 4,000 to hold, several technical analysts, including Don Alt, have emphasized that it is important for the asset to test key resistance levels like 4,300 and 4,600. Remember, we read the article about Don Alt? I don't agree with him. Even if it passes 4,300 to 4,600, that doesn't mean we're out of a bear market. I'm going to tell you the numbers you need to look at. This BTC dominance needs to go below 50%. This number here, market cap, needs to get back to 300 billion. Now, when that happens, you'll see Bitcoin getting closer to the $10,000 range per coin. And all the other altcoins will rise with it. But this needs to be around 300 billion. This needs to be below 50%. Then I'll feel confident that the bulls are back in town. It runs up to 6,000. Everybody's going to jump for joy, but they're going to forget that it was at 6,000 just last November and dropped by half to 3,000. And remember, when it was at 6,000, it used to be at 9,000 and dropped to 6,000 rather quickly. What was that, around the summertime, August or so? Because I bet wrong. I knew it was going to happen too. And I had the days off. Most of the time when I predict stuff, so far I'm about 80% right. I say that humbly. I'm nobody special. I just read a lot. But what I do get wrong is the timing. The timing, and it pisses me off every time. I get it wrong. I get it off by a day or two, a couple of hours, or a week or a month. One prediction I made about Cardano, Stellar, and all the altcoins, I got off by a year. I thought that 2018 would be the run of the altcoins, and it's turned out that it's going to be 2019, the run of the altcoins. So I was off by a year. So anyways, let's get back to this. Let's see. Anything else? If Bitcoin initiates an optimistic price movement above 4,300, it could trigger a short squeeze and fuel its near-term momentum. But whether Bitcoin can move past key resistance levels remains unclear, as many analysts are cautiously optimistic about the performance of the asset. On March 17th, following a strong week for alternative cryptocurrencies and tokens, the cryptocurrency market retraced slightly from 141 billion to 139 billion by about 1.4%. The retrace was minimal, considering the gain of the cryptocurrency market throughout the past 7 days, and the market could continue to see an extended period of accumulation if Bitcoin can maintain its momentum in the short term. Some cryptocurrencies, such as, wait for it, Engine Coin, which experienced an impressive 80% rally against Bitcoin earlier this month. I called it. Due to its reportedly high-profile partnership with Samsung's Galaxy S10 crypto wallet, recorded large gains on the day. Potential Backed delay. Based on reports, the launch of Backed, the highly anticipated Bitcoin futures market operated by ICE, the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, will most likely not be able to launch its futures exchange by the first quarter in 2019. Even until late February, CFTC's Division of Market Oversight was reportedly reviewing the proposal of Backed, and as such, the earliest Backed could launch is in the second quarter of this year. So we're now looking at April, May, and June. This was supposed to come out back in February, into January, February. Throughout the past 12 months, Backed has been considered as one of the fundamental catalysts that could contribute in institutionalizing the cryptocurrency sector. While that may be true, I'm not convinced that's what's going to spark the price up, because everybody was saying that about the CME and the CBOE in 2017, and the exact opposite happened. Institutional investors came in, and you know what they said? They didn't say, yay, we want to get in on this now. It's all the way up to 19,000 a coin. They said, how in the world do we miss out on this? It went all the way up to 19,000 without us. Time for us to reset the game. Let's start this all over again. And that is what they did. Institutionals shorted it, bet it all the way down to 3,000. Got everybody else scared. People who had no business being in this space, had no business putting money that they didn't really need to put in here in the space, sold everything and thought that they were in a scam. Guess who bought all their coins? The wealthy did. The market's being forced down right now. No amount of good news is changing that. It's when they decide. This is the only form of control that's here right now. It's not that a company is doing it. It's not that a government or a CEO is manipulating the market. It's the people. People are manipulating it. Someone asked, how can they manipulate the market? Why? Because it's so small. We're only dealing with 140 billion. You have a few whales in there decide to move a couple thousand coins in any direction, it's going to impact the entire market space. Chase moves around $6 billion a day around the world. I'm sorry, $6 trillion a day around the world. Chase does. Crypto amount is a blip on their radar screen. Well, why are they looking at it? Because they see, like we read this morning, one day this might have half the world's money. Get in on it now. All right. Oh, they brought this up. Okay, let me continue. As government enforcement, defense, and securities litigation attorney at Cobre and Kim Jake Chervinsky said in November 2018, BAC may be going through months of negotiations with the CFTC. Consider the process that CME and CBOE went through to get approval for their Bitcoin futures last year. Both of them ended up self-certifying, but only after months of negotiations with the CFTC and changes to their products. That was not last year. That was 2017. What's he talking about? It came online December 17th was the CBOE first. A week later or so was the CME. Everything went downhill since then. I got to fact check the author. All right, next up, let's go international news. Australia. I learned something. This is why you want to go to expos, Bitcoin expos, anytime you can. If they're in your area, I fly to them. I went all the way to London last year for the Blockchain Expo in London. Why? Well, the last one I went to what was the last one I went to? Santa Clara? I think the Santa Clara one. I ran into a booth called IBM. And I have it on tape too. I Facebook Live my conversation with them. And I had just read a report maybe a month before how the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, IBM, had partnered up with a company that is piggybacking off of Ripple and the Ethereum blockchain for two purposes. One, to help the unbanked get banked in Africa, and the major project was Australia, to bring the blockchain to the Australian government, that they had just announced that all citizens can pay their taxes in crypto. And so I asked them some questions. I'm like, see, IBM, the average person walking down the street has no real idea what IBM does. They might recognize the name, but it's not, to them, it's not like it's a Microsoft app or Apple or a Samsung, something that they think they use every day, even though they're using IBM products every day. It's in their software, just like Dell computers. They're using the software every day. They don't know they're using it. And IBM is putting themselves right in the middle to be that bridge for blockchain technology for not just companies, but countries around the globe. And they are heavily invested in this. This is going to be IBM's comeback. And so I'm paying close attention to what goes on down in Australia. So Australia unveils national blockchain roadmap, increases blockchain budget allocation. Australia has just revealed a holistic national strategy and roadmap for the adoption and development of blockchain technology. This sets a notable precedent and serves as a governmental validation of sorts for the nascent technology. The new policy roadmap intends to establish Australia as a global leader in blockchain. I'm actually proud of this since my own country's not doing it. If Australia does it and they do it right, it may force the United States and Canada to get on the bandwagon. What I am excited about is that they're using American companies to make this happen, like IBM. All right, so this news was announced on March 18th in a joint media release from two separate Australian ministries. Specifically, this was done by the Minister for Industry, Science, and Technology, Karen Andrews, and the Minister for Trade, Tourism, and Investment, Simon Birmingham. Furthermore, the two ministers argued that this fresh policy roadmap would allow Australia to emerge as a global leader within the blockchain field. In addition to this, the roadmap will cover and aim to stimulate the growth of various facets of blockchain technology. Specifically, it aims to establish and boost blockchain-related regulation, skills and capacity building, innovation, investment, and international competitiveness and collaboration. So you get this is where education is important, guys, because when you hear about crypto, everybody's just thinking about Bitcoin and the crypto coins and how I can invest money in these coins and make money on the long term. Do not neglect to understand the technology that crypto is built on. Cryptocurrency is nothing but a reward for building the blockchain. The real key is the blockchain. I'll give you one of my own personal long-term strategies. It is not trying to get and accumulate as many coins as possible. My strategy is to accumulate enough money to invest in companies that are going to be built on blockchain technology. Be able to put $250,000 or $300,000 or $500,000 down on a brand new company that can become the next Amazon. You guys understand that? What if you had put $100,000 on Amazon in 1998? What do you think that would be worth today? It's like there's an old basketball story. I forgot the basketball player's name, but he was offered when Nike first emerged to have a 10% stake in Nike or $100,000 cash. What do you think he chose? I think this was 1978 or something. He chose to take the money. Do you know what that 10% stock would be worth for him today? A little over $7 billion would be his worth today if he took the 10%. Hindsight is everything, right? So for me, yeah, part of my strategy is to get a lot of crypto coins and hold them for the long term so the value can go up. But I want to sit at the big boys table. I want to own parts of companies that is going to be taking us into the new era of technology. It's like getting involved with the internet companies in the very early. What if you got invested in Alibaba or Google, Facebook, Amazon, WhatsApp, Telegram, all those companies that created apps off the internet? The guy from MySpace sold MySpace for $500 million. That's what I want to do. But to do there, you need capital. You need $250,000 or more. You're not going to be able to put $5,000 down on something and think, you're going to get rich. So the name of the game right now is to build your money, build your foundation, to a point where you have enough money to live off of, and you're having money saved that you can invest in these assets. That's all my brain thinks about. All right, let's continue. So, moreover, it was also announced that the Australian government will further increase the budget allocation designed for blockchain-related spending. This latest funding stimulus grows the budget by a comparatively meager $71,200. Nevertheless, it should be noted that this comes in addition to the $700,000 or $500,000 already allocated to Australia's 2018 and 19 budget for its digital transformation agency to examine the benefits of blockchain-based government payments. They're basically sticking their toe in the water right here, but that's still a whole lot more than other countries are doing. You want to get serious? Put $1 billion down on this. Even Berkshire Hathaway, you know who runs that? Warren Buffett, who calls Bitcoin rat poison squared, has invested over $100 million in the fintech sector. Notice how they use that word? The fintech sector covers AI, artificial intelligence, IoT, Internet of Things, And number 3, DLT, distributed ledger technology. In other words, the blockchain. That's the fintech sector. Warren Buffett has $100 million down on the table. So in one hand, he says Bitcoin's rat poison squared. In the second hand, he's backing the technology that created Bitcoin. What? Huh? What? Don't listen to what they say. Follow what they do. The wealthy always find a way to remain wealthy, even when the times change. Like my river of money story. The river of money. When it changes direction, the wealthy just pull up anchor and float with the river, while everybody else is sitting on the shore wondering where the water went. So this announcement shows Australia's commitment to the blockchain. As such, the latest round of funding will allow the Australian Ministry for Industry, Science and Technology to entice companies to enroll in the Australian Trade and Investment Commission's it's called the Austrade expedition to this year's Consensus Blockchain Conference in New York City. If you guys are anywhere near there, you want to go to that. However, this latest funding is arguably not anywhere as important as the Australian government's renewed commitment to develop blockchain technology and regulation. Minister Birmingham noted that this endorsement will stimulate the growth of blockchain companies down under, in effect ensuring that Australia and the nation's tech companies will remain relevant in one of the world's fastest growing technology sectors. Minister Andrews also suggested that this decision would propel Australia to the international forefront of blockchain technology development. The national strategy puts us on the front foot in exploring how government and industry can enhance the long-term development of blockchain and its uses. You know, maybe the spring of 2017 is when I started to begin studying this industry. And I remember reading an article back then that talked about Australia that had put some pilot programs in place in their schools to teach the kids about blockchain and teach them how to create their own crypto coins. And they had these pilot schools doing it. Now, I haven't been studying crypto before that, so I don't know if there's any mention of Australia before then. But I know from when I started to look at it, Australia keeps popping up in the forefront of this, which is smart for them. You ever played that game, musical chairs? Nope. Since World War II, who has been sitting at the front seat of the table? United States, Great Britain, France, the Allies that won World War II. Everybody else is beholden to the U.S. dollar. They got to come to Washington for permission to do stuff. And if they don't, we will put a sanction on them. But now we are seeing a reshuffling of the chairs. And these countries are trying to get their spot that they didn't have before. The traditional top countries are trying to hold on to how things always have been. This is going to be part of America's downfall. Now, America is also not stupid. The companies aren't. The government either. I am confident at the end of the day, United States is going to have a reversal. My only problem is I hope it's not too late. A new article just popped up on my screen that says, it's on my other computer, Bitcoin price has just a 5% chance to hit $10,000 in the next 6 months. I'll cover that tomorrow morning. But that's when, again, what did I say this morning? I said that I don't think Bitcoin is going to cross $6,000 by the end of the year, or at least until the fourth quarter, maybe October, November. Then we might start seeing a run again. And it'll get up to 6,000. So that article I'll cover tomorrow. Only a 5% chance, huh? Oh, another one just popped up. Spain's Together unveils crypto debit card as Polish Pay is forced to cancel its MasterCard. MasterCard and Visa's messing up. What article was that I read the other day that said a major company dropped Visa and is looking to add crypto, Bitcoin, as an option? I can't remember the company that did that, but I read that article. We did a live on that about a week ago or so. All right, last up. Bitcoin permabull Tom Lee believes price should be 10,000 to 20,000. Kroger, that's right. Lorna, you remembering? I didn't remember the name of the company. Kroger dropped Visa and is going to implement crypto instead of Visa. And why are they doing that? Because of the fees. They're saying that Visa and MasterCard's fees are rising. It's too expensive. So they're going to go to crypto because the fees are less. Wow. So I'm glad I see you guys are paying attention. I appreciate that. All right. Bitcoin permabull Tom Lee. I think that Bitcoin's true price right now should be about $14,000 if you remove the manipulation. So what is Tom Lee saying? And isn't this funny? All these guys, these gurus of crypto that ran their mouths in 2017 and the first half of 2018 making predictions, they've been quiet for the last couple of months. Now all of a sudden we're hearing them speak. Do they know something we don't know? Are they realizing something's about to happen? All right. Tom Lee of Fundstrat tried to buttress his recent projection that the Bitcoin price is due for a major rally soon. On March 17th, Lee tweeted that the tailwinds that had dragged Bitcoin down during the current crypto winter are easing. So now they're sticking their heads out the window from the storm. Are the clouds still there? Is it still raining? That's what all of California has been doing the last couple of months. Today, here in LA was a lovely day. It got up to 82 degrees today, bright and sunny, not a cloud in the sky. From where I live, you could see, and I'm on the Inland Empire, you could see all the way downtown LA, Catalina Island, parts of the ocean shimmering. It was beautiful on the hill. Anyways, all right, let's get back to this. Specifically, Lee claims that macro factors such as a rally in risk assets plus the US dollar no longer surging are tailwinds for BTC. Emerging markets dragged Bitcoin down. Lee then claimed that a plunge in the emerging markets had pulled down Bitcoin during the past few months. A correlation between Bitcoin's performance and that of the emerging markets has not been established. Macro tailwinds suggest Bitcoin price spike. Lee also noted that the recent rallies in the S&P 500 and small cap stocks are greater than 2 standard deviations. He then suggests that this means the Bitcoin price would rise to 10,000 to 20,000 if BTC were to catch up to equities. Okay, here's my only problem. Conventionally, Tom Lee is correct. But guys like him, I don't know if they're doing this on purpose, because I know he's smart enough to know why the market is where it is, why they won't address the manipulation. Everything he's saying is true if there's no manipulation going on. None of this stuff matters. So let's look at his tweets. Earlier this year, we noted the macro factors such as rally and risk assets plus USD no longer surging are tailwinds. Chart shows EM in 2018 pulled down BTC. No, it didn't. Well, you did have this drop here, but it started here, the futures. This is what started it. Dropped this down to the $12,000 range, $10,000 range, then boom, drop down to where we are now. Crypto, natural question is how much implied upside Bitcoin to catch up to macro? S&P 500 plus small cap rally? Okay, I see what he's saying. When you hear him saying catching up to it, I guess that's his way of saying that the market has been manipulated, because if it was happening naturally, it should catch up to what the real market performance rate is. So I guess he is answering that question without having to say the market is being manipulated by saying, when will it catch up? And this is what I said yesterday about boomerang or a rubber band. When you pull that rubber band back and you're squeezing it down, when you let it go, it's going to spring forward. It's not going to move slowly. It's going to snap back up. So that's what he's saying here. I know he's not. I know he knows what I'm talking about. He's just not. He's using different language. Catching up, and he used that in quotes. That's interesting. He said that. So it implies 10 to 20K. Not our base case, just highlighting macro tailwind. So money manager, no correlation between Bitcoin price and equity markets. Meanwhile, many financial experts say there is no correlation between Bitcoin's price movement and the broader stock market. That is true. I like Bitcoin because it's not correlated with the stock market, said Bill Miller, the founder of Miller Value Partners. Bitcoin basically has no statistical correlation with stocks or bonds, which makes it an excellent diversifier. That is also true. At this point, few in the crypto industry take Bitcoin price predictions from anyone seriously, because even so-called experts have been way off amid the 2018 market crash. They would not have been off if there was no market manipulation. They would have been spot on. But for some reason, and I think it has to do with the fact of their own self-interest, that it does not do them any good to start screaming market manipulation. It serves their benefit for there to be market manipulation, and not everybody else know about it, but they do. That means that they're able to plan for the future. They're able to put their businesses and companies in place. They're able to stock up on coins and get ready for the snapback. Because whatever they say publicly can affect the market. Now, I'm only putting myself in their heads, and I'm only deducing logically that they're not stupid. They've been in the crypto space since the beginning. They've seen the trends over the past 10 years. They know that on December 17th, the day the futures came on, the entire market dropped and has not come back. They know what the wealthy are doing behind the scenes because they are wealthy themselves now, and they're investing in all these companies. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm not calling them stupid. They are very educated. They know more about this than I do. They are, however, being very careful on how they and what they say out here to the public. Anyways. So in April, well, as it is, Tom Lee was wrong in his predictions numerous times last year. In April 2018, Lee insisted that the Bitcoin would rally big time right after tax season. That was a smart thing to say. Yet the Chinese New Year was done, tax season's here, people got their refunds back, they're ready to play in the market. There was nothing but good news about crypto at that time. But the market was being manipulated. So that's why he was wrong. In April 2018, it says Lee attributed the drop in Bitcoin's price to mass sell-offs caused by investors trying to sell off their cryptocurrency holdings to avoid paying taxes on them. That's also false. I don't even think he believes that. That's a cover. They were not selling off to avoid paying taxes. Selling pressure for Bitcoin should be alleviated after April 15th. That rally never happened. On May 31st, Tom Lee, colleague at Fundstrat, Robert Sluimer, the head of technical strategy, predicted that Bitcoin would spike soon because it had finally bottomed, and technical analysis said it would rise. We think Bitcoin is starting to bottom off some very key support around $7,000, Slimer said. And we think it's going to start a recovery process here. You see that? He set that at $7,000 price. That rebound never happened. Lee doubled down on wrong price prediction. Then in November 2018, at the height of the crypto bear market, Lee doubled down on his exuberant $15,000 a year in Bitcoin price target. At the time, Lee called the crypto winter an awkward transition that would pass very soon. Again, look at the quote here. Awkward transition. What does that mean? Got to think of this like you're taking the LSAT. What does that phrase mean? Awkward transition. It means that this has not happened previously. It's not following any past indicators. Something is impacting the market that is not natural. An awkward transition. In other words, he's saying, oh yeah, it's being manipulated right now, but it should pass soon. So he's trying to gamble and bet when that manipulation would stop. As we all know, that comeback also never happened. In December 2018, a frustrated Lee said he was finished giving price predictions given his history of inaccuracy. However, he said that Bitcoin's fair market value at the time was $13,800 to $14,800 at the time. Bitcoin never topped 4,180. Here's the thing, though. He's right. He's correct. His predictions, if left unaltered, unmanipulated, he would be absolutely correct. He knows it as well. Twitter user Tom, you have no credibility. Yeah, you guys keep thinking that. This is why you need to have your own education, ladies and gentlemen. So even when these guys say something, you don't have to at least believe them just because they said it. What I always like to do whenever I see them say something, then I research and I try to figure out why they said what they said. How does it benefit them to say what they said? Even when I know they're lying. At best, at worst, they're just ignorant and don't know anything. At best, they're lying to everybody. Or vice versa, however you want to look at that. So all these unreliable price projections have caused many in the cryptocurrency market to laugh off Tom Lee's price predictions. I wouldn't laugh them off. So when Lee once again insisted last week that a bull market lurks around the corner, many in the crypto space couldn't help but mock him. One Twitter user remarked, "Is this the same Tom Lee that predicted Bitcoin to be 25,000 by the end of 2018? Tom, you don't have any credibility in this space any longer." All right, I'm not going to go through all this. Bullishness without baloney. So the moral of the story seems to be this. You can be a Bitcoin bull without looking like a shill if it doesn't appear that you're constantly pumping the market. That seems to rub even the most die-hard crypto fans the wrong way. There are many smart people in the cryptocurrency industry who are confident that Bitcoin will gain mainstream adoption and revolutionize the world. But revolutions take time, and progress is never linear. But the people who constantly talk it up are not doing true believers any favors. Interesting statement, but I still would pay close attention to what he's saying because personally, based on my own experience and what I know, his predictions are correct. He may get the timing off a bit and the fact that the market's being manipulated. My real question is, am I giving him too much benefit of the doubt? That I'm thinking that he's realized what I've realized? Or has he still not freaking realized that the market's been manipulated and he's getting frustrated because his price points aren't being hit and he doesn't understand why? If that's the case, I lost all respect for him. If he doesn't realize the market's being manipulated, I have no respect for him in this space. You cannot be that much in the trenches and not realize that. But that's just me, and that's why education is important. You guys do your own research, come up with your own I don't want to say price predictions, but remember what I said, rule number 4, where do you see yourself 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? That also means you got to do a little bit of forecasting. Where do you think the market's going to be in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? How much are you willing to start to put into it now? How much do you want to put into it 6 months from now? Where do you think you'll be a year from now? What is your strategy looking like? These are important things that you need to know. And you don't need to have somebody tell you. Just because I say something doesn't mean I'm always right. I might be wrong. I might, like I was about Cardano and Stellar and the rest of the coins. I think I know I'm right long term. But I thought it was going to happen, and I said that before I realized the market was being manipulated. If we go back to my crypto talks, I think the first time I started talking about that was February 2018. That I thought the market was being manipulated, and the only reason then was because I was investigating USI Tech and BitConnect and their downfall. I was trying to figure out why would the owners of those companies do the exit scam like they did. I rode the wave. I cannot duplicate that under today's conditions. I have to do it a different way. But those conditions are going to happen again. Only this time, I'm not going to go in with $30. This time, I want to go in with 50,000 plus and ride that wave all the way up. Anyways, Lorna, you bought Stellar when it was at 4 cents. What is the price of Stellar at right now? 11 cents. You made money. Hold those coins. What was the ultimate all-time high of Stellar? What was it? I think $1 something? Was that Cardano? Let's take a look. This pops up for me. So the all-time high of Stellar was 75 cents. Well, it was more than 75 cents. Well, over 70 cents. I'm going to give it that. This chart's being funny with me. So what if your Stellar that you're holding right now that you got for 4 cents, what if that goes back to 70 cents? Look at the return you had on that investment. What if it goes to $2? This is what I said, guys. I said it this morning. Unfortunately, even though that there's no barrier of entry to get into crypto, to make an impact on it, to become a millionaire, you're going to need resources. You got to play with big money. I shared that the point I was doing $2,000 a day was because I had $40,000 in an investment, 40 grand that I was leveraging. You need to have big money. The more money you have, the faster you're able to leverage and compound yourself and flip it and get to the higher levels. If you're not at that point yet, you want to earn your way there. You can earn your way there by taking advantage of whether if you're working a job or you're saving money, if you have another source of income, if you're in KGX and you're building and sharing the opportunity and you're taking your commissions and you're putting some of that aside for your future investments, whatever it is you're doing, even if you go out there to get a loan. You only want to get a loan if you know where to put the money so that the money works for you. You got to get funded. That's how all rich people got started. They needed a bank loan or something. Anybody that needs help wants to know how they can get a personal loan or a business loan. If you've got a credit score of 650 or above, then we have a source that can hook you up. Just go to winwithivy.com. Winwithivy.com. That is not for everybody. I want to be very clear here. That is for responsible people who know what to do with money when they get it. Unfortunately, too many people, they get money in their bank account, they don't know how to act. And the next thing you know, they got to pay that back. They don't know how they're going to do it. It is not for everybody. So with that, you guys have a great evening. I will be back tomorrow morning with early morning crypto talk. Enjoy your Monday evening. Bitcoin Brandon out. God bless. Good night. Bye-bye.